Did you know that these right here aren't just for making Italian dressing? All right, let me just show you. You've got 1, 2, 3 ingredients. This is gonna come together so fast. The first thing that we need to do to get this recipe started is shred up this Parmesan cheese. Now, if you wanna make this even easier, go ahead and buy pre-shredded or even that like in a can, grated cheese. You know what I'm talking about? I don't remember what it's called, but it's already grated cheese and it's the shaker cheese. That's what we always called it growing up, the shaker cheese. But I went ahead and just bought this. We're gonna shred this up in my little cheese grater. Now for this recipe, we're gonna use about a 1/2 cup of this cheese. Now this is weird guys, but I'm double shredding it to make it more similar consistency to the shaker cheese. You do not have to do this. This is just the way I'm choosing to. Now we have a packet of this Italian dressing mix. I am only gonna use about half of this. I'm gonna pour it into this bowl and we will mix it all together. Now, if I were making more, I would probably use more of the dressing mix, but I cut 2 decent sized chicken breasts in half this way so they're thinner. So I don't feel like we need more than this. I'm just gonna do a quick mix of these 2 ingredients. Now I'm gonna make this in the air fryer. I will have oven instructions listed below in the description box in case you're curious, in case you'd rather do it in there, or maybe you don't have an air fryer, that's totally fine. All right, so we've got the air fry basket. I'm gonna spray it. Okay, now we're gonna take our chicken and just dip both sides and then lay that in the basket. Pretty much anytime I put something in the air fryer, I do like to spray the top of it with some olive oil spray. And we may flip these halfway through. So we're gonna set up our air fryer now. I'm gonna preheat the air fryer to 390 degrees so that it's ready to go when we are ready to start. And then the chicken will end up baking for about 15 minutes and we'll flip it halfway. Let's add a little bit more Parmesan cheese to the top because, you know, we like our cheese here. And then just for color, you do not have to do this. I chopped up some green onion. We're gonna add that. Before we sit down for dinner, I'm gonna try just a little piece of this chicken to let you guys know how it is. For having 2 ingredients, this is delicious. Whatever's on your meal plan for this week, take something off and add this because this was so easy to make and so good. I love the savory. You can taste the Parmesan. Very, very good. Oh yeah. Now, I cannot do this video without referring you guys to my ranch video where we used ranch packets just like this, because in that video, we make a ranch chicken and we have made it before with Italian dressing or Italian dressing packet as well. And it is so good both ways. You let me know if you've tried it and which one you've tried it with. And if you've tried with both, which is your favorite? For dinner tonight, we are going to make a pork chop recipe that has 3 ingredients. It is pork chops, brown sugar, and Italian seasoning. So we're gonna start off by just combining a 1/2 cup of brown sugar with 1 packet of Italian dressing mix. You guys, this is so easy and so good. So we are going to be spraying this pan, this 9x13 baking dish, with some olive oil. Now I'm gonna take some of my seasoning and just kind of put this at the bottom of my pan, and we're going to use the pan to rub the pork chops around in the seasoning. Mine are bone in, but you should get whichever kind you prefer. We're gonna try and fit all 4 in here. It might have to get a little bit creative. Okay, now we're gonna take the rest of the seasoning and it's gonna go on the top of each one of these. Once my oven is nice and preheated to 425, these are gonna go into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. At the end, we're gonna broil them so that it gets a nice golden color on the top from that brown sugar. All right, these pork chops have been in for about 25 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and set that to broil so that they can get that nice color on the top, but look how good these look. They look really delicious. All right, you guys, here are those pork chops, that brown sugar and Italian dressing or seasoning. They smell good, they look good. We are ready to eat. For dinner tonight, we're gonna make these Italian sub sandwiches. And one of the awesome things about this is if you do it like I'm doing, you're gonna get more than one night of protein out of this. So it's like batch cooking. It is so perfect. You're only gonna have to make this one time to feed your family twice. We have a chuck roast here. It is approximately 3 pounds or so. We're gonna add about a cup of beef bone broth. I am also gonna toss in some salt, probably around a teaspoon. Adding some garlic powder. And not measuring this, but again, it's probably about a teaspoon. We're gonna add a couple turns of some black peppercorn. I have half of a packet of this Italian dressing left. We're gonna go ahead and use this up. You can use a full packet if you prefer, that is completely fine. But since I have one open, we're just gonna go with this half pack. We're gonna add in some pepperoncini peppers. I like a lot of these. So we're gonna add a good amount, and we want to add the juices as well. So at least a 1/4 cup of juice. And now for the peppers, you would just add in however many you like. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some onion powder. And again, I'm not measuring. We're just gonna sprinkle some in. And this actually, I'm probably gonna use maybe a half teaspoon. You could cook this on high for 4 hours or on low for 6 to 8 hours. We're actually gonna start on high and do high for about 2 hours and then turn it down to low for maybe an additional 3 or so. This is just because I'm home and I'm able to do this. So you do whatever works for your family. The pork is currently still cooking, but I'm gonna go ahead and get everything else prepped and ready to go so that when that is done, we are ready to roll with dinner. Now you can cut your bread multiple different ways. You can slice kind of like a triangle out of the top. You can slice right down the middle. That's how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna keep it really simple, but it's completely up to you how you want to handle that. I am not gonna cut all the way through, but I want to just cut through and then open it up a bit because we're gonna put some cheese in there. I feel like, let me just try this. Yeah, I mean, either way. I have my oven currently preheating to 350, and the main reason for that is we wanna melt this cheese. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I mean, the traditional kind of cheese to use for this is gonna be like a provolone, but you guys know, I say it in every single video, I feel like this Kerrygold cheese is just our favorite, and so that's our go-to when we want cheese. So it is completely a preference thing, and sliced cheese would be way easier for this, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like way easier, because you can just lay it in here. It's gonna melt nicely all over the bread, but nobody in my family is gonna be upset about me going with the Kerrygold cheese. Once my oven is preheated, these are gonna go in just for a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so. I'm just waiting for the cheese to melt. All right, we're gonna take the roast out of the crock pot, and I'm gonna let it rest on here for just a couple of minutes before we do any slicing. It'll be interesting because usually it just falls apart, but I really wanna slice it. It looks and smells delicious. We're gonna try and slice this. I'm gonna taste it for you guys and let you know how it is. I'm not gonna taste the sandwich. You can kind of get the idea, but this is the real taste test right here. Okay, now I'm gonna try and, I'm using a bread knife because I figured that's the easiest. I am gonna try and thinly slice as much as possible. Now, any fatty pieces, I will cut those away. I mean, like the really fatty pieces, I'll cut those away. Also, I did let this rest for about 5 minutes or so before we cut it. You always wanna let your meat rest. It's gonna be so much better. Okay, I think that's probably enough. We have this whole other piece over here that can be used for another meal, but let's give this a try. So good. All right, we've got our sandwiches here. They're nice and toasted with the cheese. Woo, I'm so excited. All right, let's make one of these up so you guys can see. Ooh, it's hot, hot. Now, I am going to add some peppers to mine because we love peppers. Oh my goodness, that is hot, 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 guys. All right, you cannot tell me that this doesn't look amazing. I am so excited for dinner tonight. We already know the meat is delicious. We're also just gonna drizzle a little bit more of that leftover juice that's in the crock pot. It's gonna be so good. Also, this right here we made in another video. I'll have it linked in the description box so you can see it. It's just a marinated cucumber, tomato, and onion, and it is absolutely delicious. Do not miss that. Serving with some chips, so good. Comment down below and let me know what is your favorite recipe to make with an Italian packet. And don't forget, I also have a ranch packet video. It is gonna be right here so you guys can see that if you need more inspiration. We've got tons of it here on my channel, so don't miss all the other amazing content. I hope you're having a great week. Bye. Did I say why I'm using a bread knife because it's serrated? I'm not sure I actually said why I was using that knife. Let me know, what is your favorite recipe to make with a ranch packet? Also, our verse this week comes from James 4:7. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you.